You continue to move forward by turning your workplace into a sanctuary, a branch of Shambhala. This also is a gigantic challenge. Let us first assume you are self-employed, for example as a craftsman, retailer, lawyer, farmer, architect, or in a medical profession. Then it is up to you to organize your business in such a way that the principles of the Temple of Humanity apply, which we will discuss in detail later. Selfless professional work on an ethical basis, without exploitation of nature or fellow human beings, not for personal enrichment, but as a service to the common good. You are realizing a dream. Your work is now divine service. In your workroom, there is a picture of Buddha, Jesus, or one of the Mahatmas on the wall or on your desk. Thereby you explain to those who come to seek your help, I am selflessly serving the common good in the name of the hierarchy. Let these co-workers be assured that an invisible thread is stretched from their work table to us. We shall help them invisibly. That is not easy in a materialistic environment. With such an attitude, you will have to do without many orders and customers. I am not self-employed, but employed in a capitalist company. I am in no position to enforce compliance with the work ethics of Shambhala. You have to make a living in the world as it is. There too you can do a lot. First of all, you must be careful not to take part in criminal practices. Then, just like in your family, you can fight the enemies of the new world in your work environment, namely low vibrations such as selfishness, envy, greed, irritation, rudeness, wrath, anger, hatred, indolence, doubt, fear, and dejection. And ensure that there is calm, peace, harmony, and joy. You can also vault your virtual sanctuary above your workplace and ban words and deeds that are not in accordance with the dignity of such a place. Wherever possible, you can raise the awareness that ethical business practices will be more successful in the long run. In the interest of everyone, you can increase the quality of the work in small steps, beginning at your own workplace. Real improvements will eventually find the approval of your superiors as well. Searching for higher quality is already a striving into a better future. If you cannot find a way to serve the common good in your job, you can do voluntary, unsalaried work at the Red Cross, in the church, or in one of the many other charitable institutions. The everyday odds and ends in family and work, and the grandeur of the world of the future, isn't that mutually exclusive? No, we are here at one of the key messages of Agni Yoga, You must not, under any circumstances, disdain everyday life. In German, the word for everyday life is Alltag, Kosmos, day. People loathe especially the routine of daily life. For them, it is the symbol of weariness and descent. Whereas for us, the daily routine is perfectment and ascent. It opens the gates to infinity. One can learn to love this daily routine, because it tempers the spirit and gives one courage. We can make a lot of lofty words about the world of the future and the descent of the ideal of Shambhala to the material level. In the end, it all comes down to one thing only. We are to realize the new world in everyday life, in every family, and at every workplace. Where else? If you want to be an Agni Yogi, you have to start building the new world in your home and in your profession. Where else? Heaven on earth means heaven in everyday life. Where else? The new era begins in our everyday life, in our Alltag. Only then will the movement be permanent and solid. In the most everyday life are laid the foundations of the world's grandeur. May one be able to say about our efforts, a new epoch in world history is starting here and today, and you may say, you took part. How do we want to set about building the realm of the future worldwide, if we do not even succeed to achieve this at home? The great skill is, let the sublime become reality, and that particularly in everyday life. To give just one example, if you cannot manage now, here and today, at your home, to dispense with alcohol, meat, tobacco and sweets, with irritation, dejection, envy, you will certainly not be able to do so in a larger community either. The same is true of all rules that apply in Shambhala. We see again, the question is not, are you going to heaven? But, are you already living in heaven? Or are you driving yourself out of it? May every hour in family and profession be work to build the new world. Instead of retreating to a monastery, as was suggested to spiritual people in earlier times, you build your temple at your home and thus sanctify everyday life. An experiment of worldwide importance is taking place in your rooms. Intellectuals experiment with ideas, while monks experiment with their lives. This striving transfigures your entire life as it gives every moment a higher meaning. Earthly man should remember his responsibility in the task of world construction. This is the wonderful thing about Agni Yoga. There is nothing abstract. Only that counts, what improves your everyday life. Everything you think and feel, say and do, and even that what you do not say and do not do, either builds up the work of art of the new world or tears down the construction erected with so much effort. An unworthy desire, even a very slight one, can destroy an already finished construction. You have to be strong and build up spiritual power, psychic energy, if you want to enforce your ideals, your idea of a paradise on this depraved earth. You must first control yourself and then the surrounding circumstances. You have to feel immediately and take countermeasures if you yourself or the situation slip out of control. Both things are related. As soon as you let yourselves go, as soon as you are no longer under the rule of the Spirit, if only for a moment, you lose your spiritual power and are unable to establish the role of the Spirit in your surroundings either. We see again, power over circumstances flows from power over yourself. If you do not master yourself, you cannot master the situation either. You may regard yourself as a missionary, a development worker, or a being from a higher world, a more spiritual sphere, who is establishing a center of a higher culture among uncivilized barbarians. Can you give an example from daily life? In 1870, the French lady Aurélie Picard met an Arab prince, married him, and followed him to his homeland, the Sahara. There she encounters primitive conditions and cannot help but introduce her French civilization. The house is thoroughly cleaned, scent and vermin are removed. The family eats no longer on the floor with their fingers, but at the table with knife and fork. The desert princess ensures that in the village no more rubbish is being dumped onto the streets. She heals the sick and sets up a school for the children. Around the newly built Kurdane Palace, Mrs. Picard makes the desert arable and transforms it into a blooming garden. The bestseller, The Desert Princess, by Roger Frison-Roche, tells about her adventurous life there. You should look at your work in a similar way, practically oriented, towards improving, embellishing, and elevating everyday life. You are a creator, a builder of new worlds. What can there be greater?